Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV's Youth, Community, and Lifestyle. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights from some of our shows focused on youth, community, and lifestyle. Please be sure to give us a follow on all of our social platforms. First, on how to steam your dreams, learn more about what's coming up next for this year's Ocean Bowl Games tournaments and Aqua Ball Clash. Then, tune into the informative City of Bowie's Mayoral Candidates Forum for this year's special election on this part 2. Lastly, on the Spotlight DMV, check out the panel discussion of Black women in media as they shared real insights into creating opportunities. Thank you for tuning into this week's programming of Bowie TV's Youth, Community, and Lifestyle.
Hey, I got a few great updates for you. But before then, I just want to let you know that I'm not leaving anything on the table. Not leaving anything behind. When I was 14 years old, my family had to regroup. We moved back to my grandmother's house on the west side of Chicago. We called it the Big House. Before that, my home on the south side was my refuge. That's where I drew, I imagined, I built things. When we moved, I lost my dog, our dog, my artwork, and a lot of early dreams and ideas, stuff like cars that could fly or cars like the Chevy Avalanche you guys, some of us drove. But I drew all those ideas and I lost all that great artwork. And I feel like I had left something on the table. So I've determined in life right now, I'm leaving nothing on the table. I'm not leaving anything behind of all the gifts and talents I've been blessed with to share with the world. And now I'm asking the world to join in with me as we build a game together. And this esports game isn't just a game. It's a doorway for kids to get inspired by reading, math, and science. And you and I will see it together that the new future of esports starts with scholastic esports. And this is us going on a journey together. So we're not leaving anything behind. Family and teams. We just completed the spring Steam XR Sports League for Montgomery County and for some of our other clients. That league had a number of different kids in the program, and they were getting points doing brain games, playground games, and esports. So that league is finished. Now we're moving from Steam XR Sports League to Ocean Bowl League. So in the Ocean Bowl League, it's time to get ready for Ocean Bowl Games or an Ocean Bowl Fest. Let's talk about that. My team and I have partnered with Virginia Tech now for the last 2 or 3 years. So shout out to Dr. Pamela Gilchrist and Haley over there, assistant director. I think she's working on her doctorate program. So thanks for working with us on this great event. And it's called the Virginia Tech STEAM Esports Fest because they will be doing some learning about aeronautics, and they'll be building a paper airplane and having a gamified competition with that paper airplane. They're going to throw it as far as they can, see how much it flies in the air, and then they're going to measure the distance. And then we're going to give an award for the longest distance. So we've used this same kind of curriculum and program since Ocean Bowl Games 1 up in Baltimore with 24 kids. And that's on our Steam XR Sports and Esports YouTube. But after they finish the brain game of that part, then we'll run a Kahoot-like quiz to assess how much aeronautics information and knowledge they've acquired. And then we're using those points on the leaderboard to determine who's in this esports tournament part of the game. And that's going to be featuring Aqua Ball League. And the kids would have earned team power-ups in doing that. So the award ceremony will be immediately after that. Looking forward to Dr. Gilchrist or somebody from Virginia Tech will be handing out scholarships to some of their wonderful STEM-based programs and curriculum and opportunities they have there at the Virginia Tech Innovation. If you're ready to have a great time with a great summer field trip for your kids, if you are a school or rec or group leader of a youth or you're doing some summer camp and you don't know about Ocean Bowl Games, you better ask somebody. Check out Ocean Bowl Games, all that great footage. The hat is on, the logo's there. Let's go. Ocean Bowl Fest, that is correct. It's Ocean Bowl Fest in Baltimore. That's going to be July 17th. That's a Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's going to be at the IMET. And then you got Ocean Bowl Games. Our National Steam XR Sports Championship will be held with our partners at universities at Shady Grove and Rockville on July 23rd and 24th. All right, stay tuned. I'm coming back with more information. All right, I told you I'm not leaving anything on the table. I got so much good music, sound effects, you name it, from all the sound designing and supervising I've been doing, that I'm going to put out an official Ocean Bowl soundtrack that's going to have some Aqua Ball League game music on it and so forth. Stuff like, No, that's just a little bit something, but I got to give it up for the one track that I'm really digging right now. This is We Ain't Playing Out Here. I got to play it. All these soundtracks, including our favorite soundtrack in the world, Ocean Bowl, will all be on this soundtrack. So stay tuned. I will make the announcement when it's available through all your major distribution channels like Spotify and so on and so on. It's time for our Alcohol League just status update, and I'm just very, very elated that my team and we've been working very hard, and that's Justin Graves, and we've been working in the trenches, y'all. We've been cooking. We've been staying up late, getting up early, working weekends, doing tons of play testing, and working and then showing the game off to kids. And Alcohol League is very fun. I'm telling you, the kids are just super excited about it. Parents just get shocked about a video game that's intentionally designed to promote reading, math, and science. And we just tell them it's more than just a game. It's a educational entertainment plan. As of March 2026, the grant version was sent in. Our next big milestone is the public demo version, which you then will be able to go out to the Steam Valve website to download that demo version. And it's going to be fully playable, meaning it's going to have both the sports mode and adventure mode, but mostly focus on the sports mode where you are splashing around and scoring goals. And again, it's a local couch co-op, meaning I myself want to just sit, on the couch. It's not a multiplayer online yet. That's a future release, 2026. I mean, like early access, inner circle version. That's going to be one of those versions where people who support us very early will get access to some of our special tournaments and events, swag, anything we can do to, make it edutaining. Because y'all know, those who know me know I love a great edutaining time. We do a very good job of gamifying an activation or an exhibition. So we got a lot of, cons coming up like MomoCon, DreamCon. Yes, we're going to be at all these. I'm going to make another special announcement where I'm going to focus on that a little bit later. We have the Founders version. The Founders version is definitely one of those ones where you can support and then even get more access to some of our special wallpapers, graphics. You can even get your character in the game. That's correct. I'm going to talk about that very shortly, about how your kids can get inspired to go do science research about marine biological animals and mammals and species, and learn how to, come up and critically think about how that player or that marine champion will play in the video game. And then you can submit that character to the ABL team. ABL, of course, is short for Alcohol League. And then they could be in the game. So get in the game. So that's a quick roadmap update. Who's ready to dive in? Who's ready to get ABL loaded onto their PC, their Xbox? So here's our current roadmap. The chevrons are indicating what's our plan. Steps 1, 2, and 3 as far as the release schedule. We're going to release onto the Steam Valve network. It's, Steam Valve, they got a lot of money. Steam Valve, we can't wait till they release their new gaming console and frame XR goggles. I mean, we're going to be making sure you can play Alcohol League in that virtual or metaverse space, and it's going to be so fire, so dope. But we're going to release on Steam Valve on all these major releases first, and then I'm going to release on Epic Game Store, especially the early access, the demo version. So that's the whole idea, is to do the public demo versions. Then we're hoping to lock in our relationship with Microsoft, so we could then hit our major milestones here to get it released onto Xbox. But last but not least, it's definitely not released, is that we will build and release our official open source version, so we can kick off for the fall our Steam esports programming for e-gaming development. That way our kids can learn how to develop their marine champions. They would not only go through our Steam It Flow, which I'll talk about very shortly, and draw a mock-up and prototype of their character, but then we'll teach them about video game development. We'll teach them how to get that, model that character, because they're more than likely drawing that character as a 2D character first. And then we're going to show them how we sometimes build mock-ups and prototypes, which you'll see in the demo. I had a lot of fun with the kids, showing them how we use sometimes Google Gemini or one of these other tools for generative AI to take our 2D sketches or characters and then create better looking vision board-like character, so we can work on that character. So that is the plan, is to develop a school or rec or youth organization version that is open source, that we'll have on our gaming laptops that schools and other organizations can purchase. And then when we're running programming, we'll be doing video game development programming and teaching kids how to develop game assets. And those game assets, then we'll show them how they can make money. Like, hey, you build a nice asset, maybe Steam Your Dreams or maybe Creative Mindset Productions or some of our other friends may purchase that marine champion or asset, and that could be some money. I know a lot of people don't know this, but Fortnite allows you to create your own maps. And those maps, we got a couple of developers in developing game studios that just specialize in doing that, and they make millions of dollars. So, and you got Minecraft, you got all these wonderful different video game titles that you can develop your own video game assets. So we're going to be teaching the kids about that in our special Steam Esports program. And of course, for our intermediate and more advanced, we'll also have Steam Esports Production, how to produce e-gaming and esports events and tournaments. So that is the reason why we must have this special open source version of our code that we're going to allow to be available and on a lot of our gaming laptops, that then schools and other organizations and rec centers can purchase. And then that way, when we come in to run programming, or we can do professional development, teach other persons how to do that programming, that would be an option. So we're super excited about rolling that out definitely for this year. We already piloted it this year and it was very successful, but because ADL is getting updated, I wanted to make sure that we have a better official version that allows them to do that. So shout out to the rest of the team. Let's talk about exactly what that looks like about when we have kids steaming it. Now, what do I mean by getting in the game? Alcohol League, we inspire the kids through special programming, whether through just 1 hour activation or full 8-week programming, to steam it, use the steam it flow. It's a framework and workflow where we're asking the kids if they want to get their Marine champion in the Alcohol League video game, esports title, then they will have to, one, do their research. Once they've done their research, tell us what kind of technology you would use. And definitely when you're building that character or critically thinking through that character, use your imagination and creativity to engineer how that character is going to move, what kind of speed, what kind of stamina, what kind of abilities will that Marine champion have. Last but not least is art. I love to draw and paint, play music. So we ask the kids to start thinking through a lot of wonderful ways that you can get their audience or people to like and love their character. And I got some special prototypes and mock-ups developed by some wonderful, beautiful kids. Let's go check it out. One of our first clients that ever gave us a shot to work with them was the City of Baltimore's public schools and Parks and Rec. So shout out to the wonderful team and staff because they saw not only the vision, but they saw the execution, quality, the service. And we had a great opportunity this past week. And I'm going to create a special post and have a team create a special post around some of that footage, especially how we're going to ask the public to vote on some of these Marine champions. But we went to spring break and had a great time with some kids. Let's go check out, see it, and shout out to all the different rec centers. Medfield, Woodhome, Locust Point, and El Bell. So El Bell, I think I got that right. I'm gonna clean it up if I can find it. But let's go see
characters in the game. I'm gonna use my imagination and creativity. We did this earlier at Medfield. One of the kids at Medfield brought me, she told me her picture, she drew a big blue whale, and then Coach Ali, you told me he wanted to be Michael Jordan with the tongue out like a fucker, huh? So I'm gonna create another character. I'm gonna take two pieces of artwork. I'm gonna take her artwork. That's a shark. But what I said was Ocean World or Eden, 5 years old, and her family of 4, African American mixed family. They are eating huge giant rainbow cookie. That's misspelling. A thrasher shark comes along with a mean face to try to steal the cookie.
Coming around.
I got Nugget.
Hey, you got Nugget.
I got Nugget to run.
Happy Good Friday to everybody. And we've come to the tail end of this great update. I hope that you stuck around to watch every single bit, and I appreciate it. And thank you for the community, the service, and the love and support. I really do. So much so that you're probably wondering, man, how are they getting all this done? Well, we just partnered with Tim and Wayne and Rachel from MGK. Let me tell you about Melanated Game Kitchen. There's a link right here. You see it. You can go check out some of the games they've already built. So in order for us to hit these aggressive milestones that I mentioned earlier, I had to find the right partner. I prayed to God because I was like, of course, Justin and I have been doing majority of the heavy lift. Justin's been doing the coding and some UX, and I've been doing a lot of designing and animation and 3D modeling and character design and all that and story writing. And it's a lot of different job categories that are going to developing a video game, especially one that is going to change the landscape of educational tech and also esports video game titles. That's why I'm telling everybody, hey, this is a wonderful, awesome opportunity to get involved when it's very early on to not only see the vision and see the reality, but it is valid. This is valid and it's certified by kids. We don't have the official logo in it, but it's certified by kids. So shout out to MJK. I met Tim at MagFest and he came into the room thanks to Dr. Javon Gord. That's why I'm already putting doctor in front of your name. I met Tim, and then Tim introduced me to Wayne, and then Wayne and them and Rachel, we got together with Justin on a call. The synergy was there, and they loved the general gameplay and mechanics. And they were like, yeah. And I told them we need someone to help start polishing up and improving the game mechanics. And they said, yeah, heck yeah, we down. So they started getting in the kitchen to cook with us. So the roles and responsibility is MGK is a cooperative, and I like to work in a collaborative, cooperative space. Blame it on my production skills, but it really is about building a wonderful, cool game to release to the public. So shout out to MGK for coming aboard. so they can help us to be a video game expertise to bring their many years of producing many game titles out there. And I'm going to tell you more about them a little later. Hopefully, I will have them on for an interview very soon, so you can get to know them too, and know that we are family, and we're building one of the coolest games ever, the coolest educational and entertainment platform ever. All right, so super excited about having them. Hey, thanks for watching. Again, I'm Roman Sudan with Creative Mindset Productions, and I'm also the founder of our nonprofit organization that does all the programming around in the Baltimore and the DMV area. And I'm just excited to continue to bring updates and build community. So definitely subscribe, follow, like, comment on our YouTube channel, our best channel to check out what our body of work. We have multiple ones, but Steam XR Sports, Steam XR Sports, STEAM XR Sports. And you'll see all the impact that we've been doing for the last 5 years. Yes, this is our 5th year, our 6th year, but this will be our 5th Ocean Bowl games coming up. And I'm definitely can't wait to give you more greater updates about that in our next post. Thank you so much. See you later. Steam your dreams.
Smart economic growth and also revitalizing our main street. A thriving Bowie requires a robust, self-sustaining local economy. My vision focuses on aggressively supporting existing local businesses that have survived tough times. You know what I mean. I will propose cutting unnecessary municipal red tape to attract fresh, high-quality investments to areas like the Free State Shopping Center and Bowie Town Center, ensuring that expansion does not just benefit a few, but elevates property values and job opportunities across every zip code in this our community. Also, we already have the Economic Committee in the city of Bowie. I will bring them in because they are talented, and whatever they present, I will work on it as your mayor to make sure we have a better.
Thank you. Remington?
Thank you for the question. To strengthen Bowie's economy, I really just want to focus on 2 things initially: supporting small businesses and giving our residents more opportunity. That would look like we can explore some small business grants. We can support local shopping initiatives. I even want to experiment a little bit with our local farmers market so we can get more revenue going there. I also want to deepen our connections and partnerships with Bowie State University, Prince George's Community College, and even University of Maryland. These are all pathways where we can potentially create more internships, more entrepreneurship pathways for our students and working professionals. Bowie also, as it grows, we need to be thoughtful about our growth direction. We don't need any more gas stations. We don't need any more food chains. We need diverse businesses and amenities that will better serve our residents and give people a reason to come visit our beautiful city.
Thank you.
How many people here, raise your hand if you own a brick and mortar store of any kind? Raise your hand. I got one in the back. What store is it? Was it easy to open? No. Do you know how much it costs to open a business in this area? $1.5 million. Do you know how long it takes for a typical business to open its doors? 2.5 years. The only people who can open businesses in this area are already rich. That's why we have so many gas stations. That's why we have so many fast food joints. It's all high margin stuff. We have to work as a state, as a county, and as a locality to make sure that we're getting rid of the bureaucracy and the red tape that's keeping good businesses away. Finally, one little thing. Most profitable restaurant in Bowie. Any guess? Chick-fil-A. Second most profitable restaurant in Bowie. Other Chick-fil-A. So you all need to go shop at more places so we can bring new places in too. Be a part of the solution. Thank you.
This is now your time. And the way we're going to do it, and please be cooperative, we are crammed in the aisles to do a line. Zipporah, Dr. Miller standing here, Dr. Phillip, raise your hand. Those of you who wish to speak, I want you to line up by Dr. Phillip. All right? If you would do that now. And what we're going to do is have one person come down the aisle at a time so George can get that person clearly. Please limit your talk, please. Thank you. Dr. Phillip, you got it okay? I see some county council people here. Maybe they can push him back. Thank you. And then if you would just make yourself known to Dr. Phillip so she knows you're in line. Now, while they're getting ready, you all should have gotten a handout that gives you contact information for the candidates. This is there. They have given permission for that. It also gives you information about where your polling places are. So if you have questions, that should be answered there. You can also get an absentee ballot, and I'm guessing that as far as where you're going to vote, you probably got something that looks like this in the mail. Nod your head if you did. Wonderful. Then you know where you're voting, if you choose to do it that way. All right, we have a first questioner. We're going to begin that way. Now, questioners, please listen. You may ask one candidate, two candidates, or all candidates. That's your choice. Each one will have 1 minute regardless. Please keep your questions short. Thank you.
Good evening, candidates. My name is Liz Anagonio. First, I want to thank all of you for putting yourselves out here and running. It is very inspiring. My question is as follows. ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, has been in Bowie, both staging vehicles and actually taking at least one neighbor who I know of. Bowie Police Department Chief Preston has told us that they don't work with ICE. My question for all of the candidates, 1 minute only, I know it's not an easy question. If elected, what will you do if and when ICE is in Bowie? What will you do to warn and protect our immigrant neighbors? Thank you.
Thank you. The first thing I would do is utilize our city services such as the city alert system, the next door notification or app that's out there, and also Ring, so that when we see these individuals in our neighborhoods, we can put the information out there. The second thing is through the Neighbor by Neighbor initiative, where I would like to have a representative from each section serve on a committee. We can have a person identified that will be able, again, to notify individuals about when ICE is in certain neighborhoods so that we can properly react. And then another thing I would like to do is make sure that we can utilize our public safety officers as individuals are going to school and taking their children to school, and in the afternoons as they're leaving the school system, to provide additional protection so that they know that they will be covered. Thank you.
Okay, next, thank you.
Thank you for this question. We're living in unprecedented times, and I'm so sorry for the issue that happened with the ICE in your neighbor. It's so unfortunate. With me being mayor, I truly believe that respect is a two-way street, and these are federal agents, and as long as they are not actively harming or coming in between the residents and their safety, there should be a line that's drawn. And I want to ensure my main priority is just simply protecting the citizens of Bowie. That's my number one priority. And whether it's spreading the word through word of mouth or through social media or communication chains to ensure that our immigrant neighbors are staying safe, but also connecting with the Bowie Police Department to ensure that there's a level of respect and understanding as to why the federal agents are here, and they're ensuring that they're not harming us detrimentally, because number one priority is the safety of our residents. Thank you.
In terms of the ICE issue, I myself, as an American of Nigerian descent, if I go out there, anything could happen to me. So as a federal employee for over close to 30 years, anything could happen. If I'm your mayor, when I'm your mayor, what I would do as a former citizen police, we have quite a few of them who have graduated, and some are still in class right now, who volunteered to take the 13-week class. I will bring them together. They will be our ears, because neighborhood, our neighbors when we protect each other, the community becomes safer. So I will employ this past and present community graduates of our citizen police to be our ears, so if they are around, we could pass the word out and our citizens will be safe. So we don't have anything to worry about as far as I'm concerned when it comes to ICE.
Thank you for the question. Just to piggyback off of what everyone said, this is a serious thing. 7 o'clock in the morning in my neighborhood, there was an ICE raid. But really, we are our brother's keepers, right? So community is just all about connection. See something, say something. As long as we're able to keep connected, just get the word out, whether that be through letting somebody know, making a few calls. We all have social media, some form of it, whether it's Nextdoor, Instagram, Facebook. Just making sure that the word is gotten out, and that's, for right now, the easiest thing that we can do, right? Safety is really going to happen when we all work together, we're all on the same page. So as long as we all just make sure that we have each other's back, then that's the most important thing.
Thank you for the question. I'm going to give everybody an answer that I promise everybody in this room is going to hate. You ready for it? The city of Bowie does not enforce any federal law. Not immigration law, not maritime law, not air and space law. Here's the deal. We do have a problem in Bowie, and it is young people who live here, many who travel here as crime tourists who come and commit crime in Bowie. In the 10 years that we've been kind of seeing some of these repeat things, kids going out at 4 a.m. and pulling on car door handles to see if somebody left their door unlocked so they can take their Apple products, those kids have never been immigrants. They've always been homegrown, local guys. And they come to Bowie, they tell us for 2 reasons. We got nice stuff, we don't lock our doors, and a third reason, they don't believe they're going to face consequences here. And so on the immigration stuff, we're not dealing with immigration law one way or the other. But on the crime stuff, we have a lot of work to do creating deterrence across the board.
So I am not a character, and obviously everybody has their own opinions. So we question ourselves, our council members. You guys are the leaders of Bowie. Now you're saying that there's ICE agent in Bowie. Obviously this is high class politics. So you're saying that you're the leaders of Bowie. So how can you guys sit there and and everybody's questioning why is there ICE agents in their resident? So now something you have to question. Are you really the leader? In my opinion, I'll be honest, if anybody is, has a conflict with ICE agents, an illegal isn't capable of being visible. So my point is, if you're an illegal, you put your fingerprints on the table. You're never supposed to be found. So basically, you have no social security, no identification. So in terms of being, the ICE agent coming to Bowie, they're, in the street term, snitching. One of your, maybe your managers, maybe your own, surroundings. So the goal here is to, obviously, be at peace. The reason why we're in Bowie is because we take care of Bowie. So if any ICE agent was to come in Bowie, we're supposed to, file a complaint and arrest them.
So we actually experienced that, and I experienced it while I was on council. And I like to say a couple things. One, when we found out what happened, the city actually reached out to our county partners to find out what kind of resources that we can make available to the family. Because a father was taken away from his children while they were in a car, and he was on his way to take them to school. That was the scenario. So our situation was we wanted to show the humanity, that aspect of it. So what we did, we reached out and found resources because we knew as a city municipality, a city government, we could not interfere with the federal government when they came in. There's a presumption that when this happens, they're dealing with people that are criminals, but only about 10% of those folks that they go after are criminals. So to combine this conversation with crime really bothers me because it's all about humanity, and we do our best to protect our residents when they get into these situations? Thank you.
Liz, let me speak directly to your question. A year ago, I got a call from my mother, who is a U.S. citizen from Nigeria, and she was nervous. She was being pulled over. And the first thing she said when she got pulled over to me is ICE coming to take me? As an only child, that is gut-wrenching to hear from your mother. So let me say this. As a result of my experience running trust and safety at the largest online streaming platform where we coordinate with law enforcement response for issues just like this, I have the experience and know firsthand that sometimes it's proactive leadership. Sometimes it's about coordination to make sure that those agents are not coming to your communities and that you're the voice in the room to make sure that your community is adequately represented so that some of those things stay away. We talk about deterrence, but deterrence starts with proactive awareness and what is not needed in our communities. And the last thing that the city of Bowie needs is ICE agents, because we are a beautiful and thriving community who does not need that type of activity here. So as my responsibility as mayor, it's to protect my constituents and make sure I am that voice in the room. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, candidates. My name is Nichelle. And I have a particular question for Ms. Brown. You mentioned in your introduction about a scorecard, and I'm all about accountability. So if you become mayor, tell me about like how that would go, what you would do.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Yes. Great. First of all, I actually have a plan. I have identified 4 priorities: public safety, economic development, education, and youth and senior engagement. I also have already identified a 90-day action plan. I have a copy on the table in the back. The first thing I would like to do is meet with the police chiefs to establish and look at our recruitment goals, establish an economic development revitalization task force that consists of residents, business owners, the 2 new developers who just purchased Bowie Town Center, as well as our sister cities such as Crofton, Annapolis, and the District of Columbia. They have revitalized areas, and we can learn and get their pain points from them and all come together. Additionally, partner with Bowie State University and look at those students who are getting teacher certifications or doctorates in social work or psychiatry. Have them come to our school systems and offer those services for free as they're getting school credit. I've already reached out to the president of Bowie State University and all the principals in our local schools, middle, elementary, and high school, so I can discuss this option. The last thing is establish a youth advisory council. Get our youth engaged. Thank you very much.
Okay, next questioner, please, sir. Yes, yes.
Hello, this is a question directed at Councilwoman Roxy. Can you tell me how your experience on the City Council and as Mayor Pro Tem will inform the way you approach actually bringing businesses to Bowie, and what type of businesses?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. I think in my experience, when I reflect back on being Mayor Pro Tem, and directly playing an active role in recruiting businesses, it informed me that we needed alignment, we needed leadership, we needed a vision, and we needed to go out there and recruit the businesses that we actually needed and to brand Bowie differently. Sometimes the challenge is that we leave our destiny to the developers around us to tell us what we need, and it's time that we start to tell people what their need. So I would leverage my experience as previous Mayor Pro Tem by going directly to the business, to reaching out directly to the CEOs, to bring them directly back to this community and solicit that feedback from the residents in terms of exactly the businesses that they would like to see, to make the case and to expedite permitting to bring those businesses directly to the city of Bowie. And I've done that. I've done that in bringing service centers to the city of Bowie and recruiting different restaurants to the city of Bowie and making sure that those employers are here that are bringing jobs and reflecting the retail that we'd like to see here in our city. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Next questioner, please.
Hello, my name is Pat Groves. I live in the K section here for almost 50 years. And my question is, with the aging of the Bowie community, we've got many, even 4th generation Bowieyites here in Bowie now, and I'm one of the older generations. Anyway, on Superior Lane, there's the Bowie Professional Building that has been totally an eyesore for how many years now, and that would be such a perfect place for a low-income senior housing. You can walk to the doctors, walk to the stores, and I know it would have to be. Excuse me.
What is your question?
Well, what would you do to help that come along to make more low-income senior housing? The Bowie Commons is not enough with only 36 units.
Thank
You're on the
you.
waiting list for 5 years if you
want-
live that long.
Did you wish each candidate to answer that?
For all of them, please.
Okay, very
Thank you.
good.
Sorry.
My dice roller says number 7. Babatunde.
I'm not sure that we can make sure, I'm not sure that we can make the owner of that building to be turned to a senior facility. However, we could discuss with them, maybe they are willing to do that. I do not know the owners. Maybe the council members, maybe they know those people. However, I agree with you in terms of the availability of space for our seniors, because that's some of the things they talk to me about. We will have to create some way for our seniors. A few years ago, there was a talk about that to add additional living, low income for all these buildings, all these facilities that they are building all around. I do not know whether those developers put forward what they say they're going to do in terms of adding low-income residences. So, as your mayor, I will reach out and make sure all these developers, they really follow up on what they sign up to do. You can't force them, yet we can penalize them.
Thank you. Remington?
Thank you for the question. I firmly believe that our seniors, we owe them a lot of respect. They built our community. I can't make any promises that that's something that we can do, but I have no issues going to explore avenues to, try and find ways, or even like a compromise there. I don't ever want to make any open-ended promises of something that might not be attainable, but I'm a practical guy. I would love to find a solution for that, and I definitely agree. There's something that can be done with that building, and as mayor, I would definitely research that and look into it.
Thank you. Michael?
Question was about how to provide more affordable senior housing. And this is another one where I got to be real honest with you. The answer is not something you're going to love. We actually have had a couple of proposals to build higher density senior housing in Bowie over the years. One was actually about 5 or 6 years ago. It was off of 5th Street in Old Bowie. Do you know what the residents in that community said? No. So nobody wanted new construction. The city made an effort. We actually got a unanimous vote several years ago to redevelop the Sears property at the time, build some high-density residential at the center, bring in some new commercial. It was a rare feat to get 7 people to agree on something, and we were talking about potentially having some dedicated senior housing there like we did at Wall Chapel. And the company, just as we approved that, got bought by another company. That company went bankrupt. That company got bought by another company, and that company became the furniture store that's there now. So that's just an example of the kind of challenges that we're facing, and that's why, Pat, I'm not going to be able to make any promises about what we can do. That particular building you're talking about was sold to a new owner for about $1.9 million about 4 years ago. We're looking for a new investor to come in. We don't know what they're going to be able to do yet.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. How you all doing today? Doing good? Okay. I want to wake the energy up in here a little bit, and I think this conversation will do just that. So to get us started, I just want to do a quick introduction to what this panel is all about. Today's panel is not just about disability, but what it really means for Black women to be decision makers, to be creators, to be owners, right, of media and be leaders in media. We have an incredible group of women here who are shaping the industry. So I'm excited to get us into not just what they do, but the thinking behind what they do, right? So we're excited to hear from them today. So as somebody who also owns a business, as a creative, I have child photography, and I think a lot about branding and storytelling and navigating ownership. So the first question is, all of you have created your own platforms, brands, or companies. What made you decide to build something of your own instead of waiting for opportunities within existing systems? And I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Saraya.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So for me, it was seeing that I was the only woman or the only Black woman on set. I've have been hired to work on a lot of productions from production companies that are not in the DMV. They have come from LA or New York, and they are white. So with me being the only Black woman on set, or the only woman, it made me feel alone. And, you know, this industry is male dominated. However, I didn't want to feel like that while working. Plus, you know, if you are in a space where there are a lot of men, especially in entertainment, if there's a thin line between working and entertainment, and a lot of the men want to entertain while we're working. And that for me also felt a little, you know, uncomfortable. So I said, I think I need to do something for my ladies. I think I need to have a production company for the women. And that's exactly what I did. In 2018, I started Severe Flow Productions, and we've been rocking ever since.
That's beautiful. Hi, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm so excited to see this crowd, and thanks again to the National Black MBA Association for hosting us. And excited to be here at Trinity Washington University. I think for me, honestly, society is what forced me into launching my own company. So I was graduating from Georgetown for grad school. And, you know, I was like, I went to Maryland for undergrad. And honestly, I thought the job opportunities were just simply going to be there. I was like, I did all my work. I've done the internships. I had the networks and connections. And what I ended up finding out was that everyone told me what I couldn't do when I knew what I could do. And so essentially that's when I was like, you know what, I need to start my own. And I'll tell you, I also had great friends around me who always told me, like, Kelsey, like, it's your big to just be like waiting for an opportunity. And so I'm one of those people when there's not a chair at the table, that's no problem because God gave me the gifts, talents, and tools and skill set to build my own. But when I built my own, I also wanted to make sure I brought chairs with me and tools so others could also come along with me. So when I launched my podcast network, Listen In with KNN, essentially it was to give Black women a voice in sports. So much like Saraya, I'm in a field where, it's not unfortunately enough of us. Like we're growing. I'm not gonna, discredit that. But especially here in DC and being from the area, knowing that, this was a city that was chocolate city. I do not call it that anymore because it's definitely different. But at the same time, Black excellence and Black greatness was here. I wanted to continue that on. And so essentially that's like when I was like, all right, well, let me just start my own. And to my surprise, like I thought it was going to be really tough, but like I launched early. My first guest was Brian Mitchell, if you're a Commanders fan, then Redskins fan, you probably know that name. But like I hit the ground running when everybody was like, wait a minute, like who is this Black woman that like has all these amazing like sports guests, on her show? But again, I had worked with Brian. I was with her family from Louisiana, so essentially I just had to learn how to, take what I had and build that. But honestly, like I said, the world kind of thrust me into it because everyone was telling me you're not ready for the mic. And I knew I was ready for the microphone. And so I kind of created that space, and I've never honestly turned back. So that was 2016, 2017, officially became the LLC in 2022. And now we have employees, we have 2 internship programs that we run. So I'm just grateful, honestly, that I want to listen to God and make sure that society didn't tell me what I couldn't do, but that we're blossoming and blooming and making sure, again, that we're giving back to especially students in this area to get that experience so they can enter the media industry. Thank you.
All right, I just want to do a little vibe check. Can I get everybody to say, hey, Media Money? Hey, Media Money. Perfect. Thank y'all so much for having me. So what led to the Media Sip is I saw a need for the spotlight to be put on indie creators. I had worked with major production companies. I did the BTs and I did the vehicle and all that, and I was just like, y'all are cool, but there are some amazing creators that are right beside me. And I really wanted to open that lane so that they had a spotlight and a space for that. So the Media Sip is all about shining light on those that are really getting it out the mud, really taking their creative pursuits at their own hands, like pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. And of course, we do also highlight those major productions as well. But my main focus was really just highlighting, especially creators that look like me, who don't always get the opportunities just because maybe they don't have, you know, the cosign or even sometimes the funding, but it doesn't take away from the talent. So for me, it's like, I see you over there working, and we're going to put the spotlight on that. So that's what the Media Sip is all about. And I'm so excited for all of the amazing opportunities that continue to be led our way. While we do focus mainly on entertainment media, I think that we are slowly evolving into a hub for all things media so that I can provide more opportunities for other correspondents, entertainment journalists, media journalists in this space. So, yeah.
Bringing it on down to that piece here. I really do want to first, before I give my piece, really highlight the fact that what Monica mentioned about being right next to each other. Media Sip was at my DC screening. And so based off of me inviting her and wanting her to be in the space and being able to have access to it as well. So the folks that you are in the room with right now, I hope that you are doing those connections because they turn into your peers, they turn into your colleagues, they turn into your first responders where you're creating, and you are the first person on my list that I want to be there. But again, good afternoon, everyone. I am Taylor Smith. I'm going to sound like a Right There song because as it was mentioned, I am from St. Louis, Missouri. But echoing what all of these amazing women said on this panel regarding like wanting to move away from being the only and then the first. For me, where Much Love Always Productions came from was actually not society. It actually came from community. It came from my village, and it also came from grief. And so Much Love Always Production was founded in honoring my late father, Robin Terrence Smith, who passed away. Much love always was his saying that he ended everything when he connected with you, whether it was a Facebook message, whether it was a text message. It was who he embodied in this world. My father was the manifestation of love in community. And in my artwork, my art has always shown that. And so I've always been in spaces of media. I've always been in spaces of art. I'm a certified intimacy coordinator, and what that means is that I operate on sets where I help design intimate scenes, but also scenes that require care. So scenes that require a lot of grief, a lot of death, a lot of impact in those spaces. And so what I was seeing in a lot of production companies or just folks in general and up-and-coming Black filmmakers and Black women in media, we weren't always centering care and trauma-informed practices. And so I wanted Much Love Always to embody that. So while, yes, we are a production company that focuses on creating narratives that talk about Black complexity of life, love, grief, and intimacy, we also have myself, who is an intimacy coordinator that can serve on your sets and spaces there. But we also have historians and curators that also can be contracted out to assist in the development of your story. So much of what folks loved about Ryan Coogler Center is the actual historical work that was done on it. And so through Much Love Always, my background is in also academic research, and my partners are also folks who come from that background. So I have Black women historians whose work focuses on Gullah Geechee. I have Black women works who focus on the love narratives of enslaved Black women and not just the work that they've done. And so I wanted to, yes, move away from, of course, not being the only, but I wanted my production company to be the space where you can come, where you're like, hey, we want to make sure that we are providing care on set. We want to make sure that, yes, we are telling our stories, but we're telling them from an accurate depiction of it. And so if you are doing a story on the Great Migration, please hit us up because we have the researchers and the scholars that can assist you in doing that, right? And so, but a lot of folks don't know that those are things that you want to even have when you're thinking about shooting your first film. I work with filmmakers in how to operationalize their production. How do you move from just ideation, but also to this space of, I need spreadsheets made, I need to have the administration piece. And so Much Love Always came from my family providing care for me, showing up and being support for me. And so I wanted my production company to, one, be predominantly women, and black women and black queer women, but I wanted us to be a space where you can come and get those support for care, the parts of creation, so that you can be great and we can help and enhance your stories too.
That's good. Thank you. I wish I had another mic so I could jump in and be like, hey, but let's teach you out. Y'all can hear me. You're not hearing my amens over here. But thank y'all. I knew when we put the mic in front of you leaders, like we would be having gems that were dropped. So I really want to just move into some of the spaces that y'all have been in. What are some of the rooms you've had to fight to get into, and how did you make sure that your voice was heard once you got there? And, you know, you also have created your own platform, so this might be something, you know, in the past, but just as an encouragement to the people who are in the room right now, give us a quick story if you have one. Anybody can start.
I can start.
Okay.
I can definitely start. So the biggest thing for me is I've actually, with starting my platform, released the necessity to fight to get into those rooms.
Okay.
So for me, my focus and all of my intention and effort is put into our community. Kinship is a big part of what the Media Sip is all about, because I come from a very small town. Y'all probably never heard of it. Not to be confused with Charles County, but it's Charles City County in Virginia. It's right up between like Richmond and Williamsburg, but very small town, but very, very big energy. So I am used to being the underdog. Whenever I go somewhere, there is nobody there that's from where I'm from.
Yeah.
So for me, I've released the need to fight. I was in the military for 10 years. I was military police for 10 years.
Wow.
I was a high-ranking officer for 10 years as a black woman, as military police. I'm done fighting. So for me, thank y'all. But for me, I'm done fighting for those spaces. I create and curate spaces for our people. And in that, now I am being invited because they see the equity that is within Black-owned media companies, Black platforms. They see the engagement and the sold-out events and all of the things that I create and curate myself. So those major companies are now coming to me as opposed to me fighting to be around them. And for me, the benefit in that is I can walk into those rooms and, like you mentioned, I can bring those tools with me. I can bring people with me. I can say, oh, you need a creative director, I have someone. You need a filmmaker, I have someone. You need an artist, that's my husband, I got somebody for you. Like, so, yeah, it's so much power in that. If you need a therapist, I have someone. The Black man's therapist, the Jessica P. Hill. Like, I can just name drop in so many different ways because I've curated that environment, that ecosystem of all people that are like me and like-minded. So I don't have to fight no more because it's like everything that I need, we've already built that community. And then when they come to us, we can slide those numbers across the table.
Yes. Talk your talk. Oh, you go to, and then, well,
So,
your word. We forward.
we're gonna share. But for me, it's still, I don't like to use the word fight because when I think of fight, it ain't the fight that we doing. It's gonna be another type of fight. So instead of fighting, I say that positioning myself in a lot of rooms, and it is because I felt that I wasn't vocal enough. Like I knew what I could do, but who else? Who else knows? And I was in a place of feeling like I don't have to prove myself, but you do. And where I am now and what I've been able to do with Surreal Flow Productions and Pretty Content Mentorship Program, which is a mentorship program that helps college students who want to write for television. And we are in all of the Black colleges in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. We also have a partnership with North Carolina A&T, Clark Atlanta University. So we're positioning ourselves instead of fighting. We're making sure you know who we are, what we do, and how we do it, and make sure you know that it's for women. I love you guys, but it's for the women. And I want to make sure you know, I didn't grow up with a sister. I have 2 brothers, and I used to fight them. So I know how to fight for sure. But when it comes to making sure that production is seen and heard, Surreal Flow Production is going to make sure if you see us, it's an eye with a film reel in the middle, and you know that's a woman-owned company.
Positioning versus fighting.
Yes.
I really like that. Yeah, I think it gives it a more realistic connotation, right? We're tired of fighting.
For sure. It's exhausting. We'll take it.
Welcome to church. Passing the mic here. I'm so happy that you mentioned the positioning piece because in previous 30 lives that I have lived, I'm a Gemini, so I like to lead with that. And so, everything that is a possibility in my mind, it comes to fruition because of that. And so, but being from St. Louis, as I mentioned, I'm also from the Ferguson, Florissant area. I was a teacher when Mike Brown was killed. And so when I hear fighting, I go back to the actual fighting that I had to do to protect my students, to protect my younger brother who still lives in St. Louis, my entire family that still lives there. My home is 10 minutes away from Canfield Green. And so that is where I'm from. So when I hear when folks tell me about the rooms that you had to fight to get in and to do your work, the fight that I think about is the fight for my people. And so I really don't attest my fight in the work that I do, the things that build me, because the fighting that I save is for the fight of the activism work that I really do when I'm on the ground. But when I am thinking about those spaces, when I'm in difficult conversations where I'm talking with funders, where I'm talking with folks to understand what Much Love Always is producing, or when I'm talking to folks about Need You, or when I'm going up against an old professor who is telling me not to include an image of my father in my short film because they feel that it would not connect with anyone. I'm like, that's an interesting concept because we don't know people in pictures in any other movies that we may watch. So why can't I have my father in this? And so those, rather than fighting, it is how I tailor and pushing back myself to stop myself from showing up. So oftentimes it's an internal battle I'm pushing through rather than fighting who is in front of me or even trying to position myself in front of me. And so I save my fighting for when I actually truly am like, I need to fight. I need to fight right now for this. I need to lobby against this. But when I'm in the spaces, especially of curation, and I need funds and I'm talking to funders, the battle that I make sure that I'm going up against is within myself. How am I making sure, even if they say no, Taylor, that does not mean you are not worthy. That does not mean that you can't keep going. And so it's the internal battle and making sure I'm positioning myself like how these women have talked about, and recognizing that no matter what, at the essence, at its core, I am more than worthy. I have everything in me. If this no said no, it is that no. I keep going, and then I go back to community to figure it out. I call Monica and be like, hey, they said no. You know. But I save my fights for like when I got to fight, when I got to throw down, I have to make sure that, hey, the unions are striking, SAG, and all of this. Okay, I got to go fight. And so even asking yourself, when are you fighting, when you are positioning, when you are going up against, like, what strategic placing are you doing for yourself? And I love all that's been shared, but I will tell you, so I tell any room I go in, I come into that room as a Black woman. That is something I came into this world, and that's the same way I'll go out of this world. And so for me, honestly, I do like the word fight. And Soraya is my DC Chamber of Commerce sister. I will say that, it's my girl. But the reason why I like fight is because, honestly, we live in America, and I don't know a day a Black woman has not had to fight. I just have to give that preface. So I grew up here, but I spent my summers in Jackson, Mississippi. My grandmother lived only a couple blocks from where Medgar Evers was shot and killed. And I said that to say again, so for me, and I go back, I travel, I see what's happening. And so I do think it's fighting, because I have been the first multiple times in my career. That's a problem. It's 2026. We're supposed to live in the most diverse, most educated, city. And honestly, we're in DC. There's a lot happening right now. There's a lot of people fighting. And a lot of Black women. And I'm going to have to preface that because a lot of Black women are out of work right now.